we have our AI expert, my friend and my business partner, Joe Moore of Coach Engage, but your AI expertise really came through Digital Cowboy, right, Joe?
Yes.
All right. So, Joe, just take it away, and you've got an hour to present and coach and Q&A. So really present for whatever you want, and then the rest is Q&A till the top of the hour. So go for it, Joe.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, everybody. I'm Joe. I'm half of Coach Engage. Got Digital Cowboy and Rep Upgrade as well. I do a bunch of stuff with AI. In fact, I've incorporated it into my life. One of my affirmations is to have 10,000 hours in so I can be seen as a professional with that expert label. So I spend a majority of my days with some type of ChatGPT that's open, running it through a bunch of different types of situations. I've got a slide deck for you that I will go through that talks about the future of coaching. I built this slide deck about 30 seconds before I got to the meeting, just to kind of show you guys like how crazy this can really get. Quite frankly, I'm not entirely sure what's in that thing, but to be frank, what the best thing actually is to do is to show you the power of it. So when we get into questions and answers, I will live share my ChatGPT screen. I'll go over the difference between 3.5 and 4, and what that looks like, and all the crazy things you can do within 4 that you don't have access to within 3.5. I'm not going to try and get anybody to buy it, but I will tell you by the end of this, if you don't have it, you're going to buy it. It's pretty much guaranteed when you see what it can do. Okay, so let me start off by sharing my screen. This app, by the way, is called Tome. That's Tome. It's tome.app. If you want to drop that in the chat in case anybody wants to check that out. Tome.app. There's a bunch of different slide deck generators out there right now. This one is pretty cool because it's built on, it's built almost like in a Slack platform. I won't really go into that, but I like the way that it's built. I had this mentioned to me from a friend who's doing some cool stuff with AI, and I thought I'd try it out today. Because I can talk a lot around a bunch of different things within AI. There was no certain pain point today other than to show coaches how the future really is going to be shaped using AI, and how much quicker you can scale your company, scale the number of calls, really even how to choose what services and products you want to offer, and how AI can do that. So we will jump right in. The future of AI. This is kind of neat. This is actually an AI generated image that automatically gets built within the app. So you can kind of see on the screen there's a bunch of gibberish. This is literally an image that's never been seen before by anybody but you guys and myself. It just got generated. So I'm not going to talk too much about life coaching. I am not technically a coach. You guys would know more about this than I would, and I don't really like reading off of a chart, so I don't think it makes sense. But essentially, what we're talking about here is how you can use AI, what it looks like for the future of coaching, what that might mean. Does that mean that you can have a chatbot that can answer questions for you? Does that mean you could bring in leads using some AI automations within your forms? Does that mean you can, build a whole back end of courses by using ChatGPT with the knowledge that you currently have, and just using ChatGPT to put it in the correct format for yourself? All right, next slide. Benefits of AI in coaching. So this one's super fascinating because it says 24/7 availability and personalization. In my experience with coaches, there's there's no way to replace that coach and what they do and the energy they bring to the room, right? So I think we have to look at these chatbots or the potential of a chatbot for customer service as something that can help us with our clients and what questions they might have for us. The great thing about it is when you understand, one of the big things I'm going to talk about today is custom instructions. And one of the things that is a huge deal is when you're able to form your custom instructions, when you have those correct, you can literally use ChatGPT or another AI product for your business, and you can have it write the emails for you. And you'll be shocked at how close they get to what you're actually thinking by just giving them a small prompt. But put in a format that might be more easily digestible to your end consumer, if that makes sense. There's a bunch of different life coaching tools. Replica is pretty neat. Wobot, I've actually never heard of till today. That one's a little more intense, going into behavioral therapy techniques, all that stuff. Move on to the next one. The future developments, I think this is really where it gets really interesting, is emotional recognition, meaning we're not there yet, but we're getting close to being able to get to a personal assistant that you can talk to and then have respond to you. If anybody has used Poe.ai, if you haven't checked that out, you can check out Poe.ai. This is a bot that actually speaks to you and has a full-on personality and has opinions. And you can tell it to have an opinion about this or that, and it will talk back to you, and then you talk back to it. There's actually several individuals right now who are doing interviews with Poe and broadcasting podcasts. So super interesting what you can do with that. But the future emotional recognition with the AI is certainly fascinating. The virtual reality coaching, I always tell people, Mark Zuckerberg was so close. He was just way too early with his. There is someone that needs to go on mute here. There we go. But that is what it looks like. If you his future with the metaverse, as he calls it is going to be very likely accurate. And part of that is because of how fast AI is moving, technological innovations. Industrial revolution took 80 some years. Every single day with AI, there is a new tool out that can literally change your business or change the way you approach things, save you time, save you money. Personalized coaching algorithms, that one I've not heard of, actually. That's pretty crazy. I've never thought about that. So like I said, I made this literally 30 seconds before I came on, just to kind of show you that what you can do with it. But this is all great content. By the way, the name of the content for this, and I will harp on this pretty much all meeting, but the more authentic you can be in your voice when you're talking to ChatGPT or building out your prompts, and the better input you give it, the higher it is, or the better the responses that you are going to get. So let's jump on to the next one. Ethical considerations. This one is a fascinating one. I think a lot of people bring this up. One thing I tell people is never, ever put anything into ChatGPT that you don't want on the internet or you don't want publicly available. That's any AI, really. ChatGPT will train on whatever you give it. So the model is learning, it will train on this stuff. I'll give you one example. When it first came out, Samsung was really excited about it. They got in there, they put in their source code for their next operating system. And, they put in the entire source code. And so a company in China went in there and ripped the entire source code off, right? The whole thing. Now, that is not very smart on Samsung engineers' parts. But that all being said, even if you put something in there, like unless you're actually actively looking for it or you've got a bot to set up to look for it, which I'm sure people have done, it's going to be really hard to find. The chances of someone putting in what are Samsung source code and then it popping back up are pretty slim to none. And as far as bias is concerned, I would say that this is somewhat accurate. I would say the bigger deal here is what we call AI hallucination. And all that means is the AI gets confused on the input that you've given it and the directions that you've given it, and it gives you false or misleading information. And a good case study from this was there was a lawyer, I believe it was a couple of lawyers, they were in California. They went to ChatGPT and they asked ChatGPT to produce cases that supported their current case in the way that they want it ruled on. And they got those cases extremely detailed, very accurate, completely made up. And so both of those lawyers took that to court, gave it to the judge. The judge, I don't know how this worked out, but somehow they figured out it was AI generated. They go look at the cases. None of the cases actually existed. Both of those judges or those lawyers got disbarred. So this is where you have to be very, very careful on what you're using it for. Finally, in conclusion, it's really cool. I'm not going to read all that, but it really does really cool stuff. And so I'm going to jump right into, well, first of all, I'm going to stop the screen share. And I want to leave this open mainly to question and answer. But I am going to go through the next part. But I wanted to know if anybody had any questions on this. And if you do, there's a little queue over there. You can raise your hand. It's a templated piece of information. If you don't have questions, I get it. It's pretty boring what we just went through. Slide decks are just the worst, right? Anybody? It's cool if you don't have any. Because I know a bunch of you in this room, and I'm straight up going to pick on you when we get to this next part. So I'm excited to hear from you guys. All right, cool. So I'm going to share my ChatGPT, and I'm going to go through the real basics of, let me go to my entire screen, the real basics of kind of what this looks like. So let me share this one. There, okay. Let's do hand raises. Who has GPT-4? Who's paying $20 a month right now? Anybody? Looking.
No.
Buddy? Okay.
And Joe, FYI, I don't know why, but my camera is deciding to hide itself. So just so you know.
Okay. We see
I'm
you
here. Okay, I can't. So anyway, that's good.
I set Sam up for that. I had her just sitting over there wondering why her camera. No, I'm kidding. Not really. All right. So this is GPT 3.5. This is the free version, and it is mind-blowingly good. I want everybody to know that if you're using 3.5, there is not. It's actually faster than 4 is, and that's the honest truth. You get results faster. Everything about 3.5 is 4, or is faster. And honestly, it does next level things. But let me explain the difference between 3.5 and 4. And let me start, before I even get into that, the one thing I want to point out is there's these 3 little hamburger buttons down here in the corner. What you want to do is you want to go to custom instructions, and you want to fill out this. So if you haven't done this yet, you definitely want to go fill this out. I will be teaching a different class altogether on just this, because if you can learn anything about ChatGPT or AI in general, when you have custom instructions available, this sets you up for everything that you do going forward. So you could tell it about your business in here in this section. So this knows all about my business. It knows about my goals. It understands that I've got children. I've got my Myers-Briggs test in here. It talks about how I'm an ENFJ-A. And so when it responds to things, it responds as an ENFJ-A. The more information you have about yourself, the more you know yourself, the better off your bot, or your custom instructions, I should say, will be. And then down here, you could ask it to tell you, or you could tell it how to respond to you. So built into mine is the Pareto principle, which I'm a huge fan of, the 80-20 rule, if you know what that is. The golden ratio is in here. There's some concepts from product launch formula that are in here. There's Parkinson's law that's in here. There's a bunch of other stuff that's within this. Key things to remember, because I don't want to spend the whole time on this, because again, if you guys could do anything, the one thing you should do is go fill this out. This is your custom instructions under that hamburger menu. Keep in mind that whatever you put in here now, you don't have to write everything out, because it knows everything about your business. So now you've given it input, pre-input, so it can base its answers off of what you've placed in here. And this works from anything to producing content to understanding how to respond to an email. I won't get into the story of my ex-wife, but I had to respond to her text messages the other day because I couldn't stand the things she was putting in there, and they were making me emotionally upset. So my bot knows to take out all the emotion, and it created the perfect text message that honestly I got a positive response out of. So AI could do all kinds of crazy stuff. But again, nothing personal in there. It was just it was what she put, and then it responded in that ENFJ-A way. This is probably the biggest thing you could do, I would say. But I'm telling you that, and then I'm going to show you 4, and then you're going to go, oh my gosh, what in the world did I just see? This is bananas. So this is 4. This is literally $20 a month. And in the back end of 4, we're going to see a bunch of different things. We've got the default GPT-4. So GPT-4 is slower, but GPT-4 has a higher level of advanced reasoning. It has a higher level of creativity, but the advanced reasoning is really where we can get a tremendous amount of power out of it. We've got Browse with Bing. So ChatGPT 3.5 is trained till November of 2021. They're trying to update that now with real-time information because they're competing directly with Google Bard, which would become Google Genesis later this month, which Google is touting as 4 times as powerful as GPT-4. I don't know about that because GPT-4 does things that are mind-blowing. It's like hard to believe what you're going to see. Browse with Bing is when you use 4 and you tap this button, I'm now browsing with Bing. So I'll give you an example. Go to coachengage.com and tell me what that website is about. Now, I spelled the wrong word there. It does not matter. It's a large language model. You could spell 3/4 of the words wrong. It's still going to understand most of the time what it is you're telling it. So now it's going to search the internet live. And I have put in very good security. That's what it's telling us. It could not answer. It could not answer that. So let's have it stop. Let's just say try Sam Rafis, cpc.com. So now it's going to go back and it's going to search. Just no. Okay. So I don't use Browse with Bing because of this. I don't like it at all. I use plugins, and I'll show you what that means in a little bit here. Let's just see if we can get it to work. Let's just say Zoom.com. Try that. That's so hilarious. It was really interesting. There was part of the reason we had a strike out in Hollywood is all of the actors, all of the writers, all of the creatives got super angry because of ChatGPT, because they're making content that was very much like the content that has already been made by real artists. And so Microsoft, OpenAI, and by way of that, Microsoft, who gave OpenAI $10 billion to run with this idea, took Browse with Bing off because someone had gone in and literally raided the libraries of information and inputted it into ChatGPT essentially just ripping off books. And so, unfortunately, it was removed for a while. They just put it back maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And it still just isn't very good. I don't know. I'll show you a better alternative. If you're not using ChatGPT, on this left side, you're going to see all the different projects that I have. And over here, we're going to see the new chats. So I'm going to go down here to, I'm just going to skip to plugins for now. And for here, within the plugins, this is pretty cool. I'm going to shrink my screen. There is something called the plugin store. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go look at the plugin store. And imagine the plugin store. If you have an iPhone, I think it's called the App Store. And if you have an Android, it's called the Play Store. So that's what this is. This is a spot for you to go to find different types of apps that you can then attach to your GPT-4. And there is, I don't know, if someone wants to, well, let me give you an example. We'll go to just the new ones, and we'll look. Create summaries of documents, PDF, Word, A/B analytics. This is search for products on Google. Here's another browser. So I will go back, and I'm going to use the ones that I've got plugged in. But just so you know, there are 117 pages of 8 apps on every page right now. There is a lot. When I started using it way back in February, and I think plugins came out in maybe March or April, there was 3 pages and I think 12 apps. Now there's hundreds of apps that plug into it. So the 2 I've got connected right now, there's a bunch in here. My favorite, my absolute favorite, if I can give you guys one and you're using 4, my absolute favorite is something called WebPilot. So WebPilot is a better version of GPT-4 with Bing. And that's the honest truth. This thing will go out and search the internet for you live. You get most summaries back that you need. You can get really anything that's out on the web. And most of the time it's not blocked. You can also use it for research. I'm going to include this law on that too. So I'll give you an example. We'll see if Coach Engage or Sam Rafus works with this one. Hey, Google. Hey, ChatGPT. Today we're going to do some research. We want to check out coachengage.com. So we want to visit it, and we're just trying to figure out whether or not, or not even whether or not, we want to figure out what this coachengage.com is about, and give us a summary of what it talks about. Give me 3 positive bullet points about the company and what it's doing for coaches. And I don't know, put this in a table format for me so it's easy for me to understand the information that you're giving me. I don't know what's going to happen here. I didn't test all these out. Julia asked, are there any plugins for 3.5? No. So 3.5, they do limit you to, shoot. So let's try Sam Rafus. No, 3.5. There is nothing for it. There is something that I will show you here that is not a plugin, but it is an extension of Chrome. And I think all of you just saw me speak to the machine. So I will show you how to get to that one. There we go. Summary of Sam Rafus. Sam is a master trainer and business coach with 20 years of holistic entrepreneurial experience, blah, 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 blah. Now, the cool part about this is I asked it to put it in a table for me, just so it's easier to understand. Now, if you think about this, when you're looking at something, especially if you want to get information out of this and you tell it to put it in a table format, that makes doing this, copy, paste, much, much, much faster. So just this one thing where you tell it to put it into a table can be hugely beneficial if you're using ChatGPT, because of the copy paste abilities. I'll jump back into the rest of the plugins, but I want to show you this. This is called voice control for ChatGPT. Sam, if you just want to put voice control for ChatGPT into the chat, the easiest thing to do there is just put that into Google. It'll be the first and second result that comes up. And I will tell you that if you take something away from this meeting, aside from custom instructions, being able to speak to ChatGPT, depending on who you are as a person, can make a massive amount of difference. I can also tell you that I use this constantly, and within meetings when I'm on silent, but I'm talking to ChatGPT, everybody thinks I am crazy, which is fine. I don't care, but it looks funny because I'm constantly talking to my other monitor, and then they're watching me as I do that. Nonetheless, when it takes a lot of brain power to think of something, run it through all these electrical signals into your hand, and then take your hand and type that into the machine. And so when you're able to just talk your ideas into the machine and have a free-flowing train of thought, it's incredible how much better your results can get because your brain can really formulate that. Now, for some people, it is easier to type out their thoughts. For me, I think as I talk. So I'm living in that moment and I'm thinking about that situation as I'm doing it. And for me, that makes a massive world of difference. One of the other guys that I work on projects with, he can't do this. He's got to have everything written out. But I find for most people, Julia says everything's, I told 100%. I have to have it that way. I didn't see it. I guess we have a bunch of these chats open. I want to answer any questions that are over there. There's always going to be lawsuits. Yeah, I completely agree. Always. Okay, so let's jump back up here. This is a great example. So I'll say, I've got a plugin right now that is going to build us an entire video with a voiceover for Sam's website. Hey, ChatGPT, why don't you use the Visla plugin and let's build a video for Sam. Let's talk about her business. I don't know, make it around 45 seconds, a minute long, whatever you think. Come up with a script and do the voiceover. Am I missing anything? What questions do you need me to answer in order to clarify this for you? Also, that's one other thing I forgot to mention. If you treat ChatGPT as if you're having a conversation with it, and you're constantly asking it, what questions can I answer to clarify? Your answers that you get out of it are going to be, or the questions it asks you with it, and your answers to those questions are going to make a massive amount of difference in the quality of content that you're able to put out. So I'll answer these really quickly. What's the primary message or takeaway you want the audience to have after watching the video? That I want the CTA to be talk with Sam if you're struggling to get your coaching business started, or you want to become a professional coach. For number 2, are there specific aspects of her business you want to highlight? I don't know, Sam's energy. I don't know how you highlight that. It's just amazing. So I'll just leave that at that. The intended audience would be new coaches or coaches struggling to get off the ground. Specific style or tone. Sam is an INFJ, and I think for her, her audience resonates with her. I'm taking words out of her mouth, but they resonate with her because she is able to really understand the situation. She's able to empathize, but she's also able to give actionable strategies to help move that situation forward. All right. So that's what I mean. I talk I think when I talk. And so for me, that's like really, really powerful to be able to do that. Because if I had to type that out, I know that's not the message that would have came out, right? So for me, that's really important. Visla is plugged in right now. Visla is just there's probably 5 of these on there right now. And it's going to create a video. Right now, it's going to create that video, and it's going to give us the link over to the video where we're going to have an entire video done just for Sam. So the title is Unlock Your Coaching Potential with Sam Rafis. Your description is a brief description or a brief introduction to Sam. Tags, it's got all the tags built in. I don't think it'll be done quite yet, so we can mess with another app, but we will find out. Might need another minute before it fully renders. Yeah. So, well, they got a little generator bar. That's new. That's cool. This is one of, like I said, multiple apps that are on there that will do stuff like this for you. If you're a Canva individual, if you love Canva and you love designing in Canva, there is a GPT-4 plugin for Canva I can show you guys. That one's pretty cool too. It really can help you conceptualize ideas. So we'll let that finish. I'm going to go back up here, and actually we're going to go to new chat, and I'm going to choose something a little bit different. We're going to go advanced data analysis. So in my opinion, this one's probably the most underutilized, but by far the very most powerful thing that you can use within ChatGPT. So I can say, hey, I just did a video for Sam Rafis. I don't know why I'm not talking to it. We'll put that in there. So it's got my custom instructions in there, and so it's asking me, how does this create AI automation, right? So we're going to give it some context. I should have given you more context with this. What I'm looking to do is I need to build code for the page, HTML code for the page. I'm going to give you the language for that. And then could you build the code for me? And what questions do you have for me in order to clarify what it is I'm saying? So I'm going to go over to Sam's website here. And we'll take this part. Ooh. Oh man, don't you hate it when those annoying marketers put pop-ups on the page? Oh, that was me. Sorry, everybody. That's my fault. Okay. We'll go back down here. We'll grab this. I'm going to take it. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, I don't do any coding, and I totally get that. I don't do coding either. I'm a low-code or no-code guy, meaning I know enough to be dangerous, but for the most part, I don't know how to code. I'm not the coder guy. If there's a problem with some kind of code, I'm not the guy to fix it, right? I'm not going to answer any of those because it doesn't really matter. So this. And now it's going to spit out some code for us. Okay. That's fair. Make the colors like a purple and a gold. No multimedia elements. Specific CTA is book a free consultation. Do you have any testimonials or social proof? Don't worry about that for now. Any plans to integrate AI-based analytics or chatbots? Yes, but not really pertinent. I just need the HTML code for the page. Thanks. So now it is going to actually build that code out for us. Now, aside from this, some other really cool things you can do with this is I can upload a document. So I will use, let's see. Here's a list of my SaaS products, which I won't get into, but I'm going to ask it now. As soon as it's done working, while it's working on that, we'll come back to that thought process. And here is Sam's video. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute here. And I'm going to share once more. Okay. you guys can't hear, let me know.
Are you a new coach or struggling to get your coaching business off the ground? Meet Sam Raffis, a master trainer and business coach with over 20 years of experience. What sets Sam apart? It's her incredible energy and holistic approach. She combines technology, coaching, and community to offer a comprehensive solution for coaches. Sam's unique ability to empathize and provide actionable strategies could be the game changer you've been looking for. Talk with Sam today and unlock your potential as a thriving coach hero.
I just love when it comes up with the language and all that stuff. It's so a thriving coach hero, Sam. That's your new tagline. Thriving coach hero. I love it. Love it so much. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing with Code Interpreter. I'm going to stop it, ask if there's questions, and I'll show you one more cool thing. We're at 40 after now, so I want to leave it open the rest of the time for questions. I'm just going to briefly ask it, hey, this sheet I just uploaded, could you tell me how I might be able to use some of the SaaS products? Could you pick the 5 that would have the most impact on Coach Engage and how I can help reach more, how I can help more coaches get their message out to their ideal customer avatar? So please just pick 5 of them and let me know why it might be a good idea to use those products with Coach Engage. Give me a headline, give me the name of the app, give me a summary of why it would be a good idea, give me 3 bullet points of why it would be a good idea, link over, if you can, the website of that particular app so I have quick access to it. Let's put it in a table so I can easily copy paste this in case I want to use it somewhere else. Also, I noticed this. I talk with my hands, and even when I'm sitting here by myself, I'm talking to the machine with my hands. It's just, I just look like a lunatic. I should just put a camera up here. I think I could just stream that live on YouTube. I don't know. Data seems
to. Joe,
sure.
2 things. We're still seeing the Vizsla screen, and Doris has a question. Are the plugins at no cost if subscribing to ChatGPT 4? And Julia is saying, I'm guessing you can give it directions on what type of pictures to include in the video.
Yes, and yes. And I won't go, I'll just briefly touch on the last one. We don't have to look through that one. You guys get it. Like if you put data in there, you can pull out really interesting stuff from that data. I'm going to answer those 2 questions. The last one that you have here is Dolly. Then I'm going to jump into questions and feedback. So I'm just going to say, create me a logo for a tree cutting service that has a green dino in it. I don't know, again, made that up off the top of my head, but on the back end now of GPT-4, you can create images. That means if you're creating something, articles, websites, whatever it is that might be, if you have an idea of what that might look like, you can literally go into 4, tap on Dolly 3, and create those images. It'll take maybe 30 more seconds. These images are pretty sweet, and I think what, like that's nuts. Dino tree experts, dino tree masters, dino tree cutters. It's not very good at spelling, just so you guys know, but you can get really great concept art. As Steve knows, like everything that we've built so far in the back end of our other group, like that's all AI generated images. Me and Len spent hours and hours trying to get the spelling right. So that part isn't always great. Sam said there was a couple questions, so let me jump in here.
Joe, give me a second. We're not having Q&A on the recording. So can you guys see me?
Yeah.
I cannot find my camera. I've done something. Anyway, Joe, thank you for doing this for Coach Connect Hub. I'm going to stop the recording and then we're going to continue with Q&A. So those of you that are watching the recording, see you next time for Q&A. But it's the people here that are present that get full advantage of Joe's knowledge. So thanks a lot, Joe.